Concentrate. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It is Saturday morning, so you know it's time for another live edition of the Extra Point. And look at Tasha T. Sizzle looking like a college professor today. What's going on, T. Sizzle? How's it going down in the DR?
Ooh, it's going. I'm getting prepared for my mother and my daughter to come and visit me on Monday.
Nice, nice. Family time is always a great time. Speaking of family, I'm glad you segued into that. Let's give a shout out to family, our sponsor.
It's May Jane's Coffee, MAEJANES Coffee.com. Baby girl is on her thug thizzle. She is in Lexington today doing the Kentucky-Florida game. So she will join us, I guess, whenever she is off the road.
Nice. Shouts out to Denise, and all of her endeavors. Very, very proud of her. That should be an excellent matchup. I believe Kentucky is still undefeated. All right, this show is also brought to you by Wolverine Comics _TX. That's Wolverine Comics _TX. Get all of your comic book needs through Michael Haas. So, Natasha, let's get right to it. Coach Prime and his Colorado Buffaloes suffered their first loss of the season last week, a 36-point drubbing at the hands of the Oregon Ducks. And if you watch the game like we did, you understand that it really could have been a 70-point drubbing. They called off the dogs. There was nothing that Colorado could do offensively, defensively, passing game, run game, up front, however you look at it, it was just an absolute beatdown. But Tasha, the real fireworks started after the game on social media when the anti-Prime crowd got their pound of flesh, which naturally got Team Prime on the defensive, and there was like this huge 24-hour war over social media. A lot of the stuff that you posted to our chat, that was good banter. Tasha, let me start with you here. Let me get your initial reaction to the public's reaction to Colorado finally losing.
Well, this is the thing. You have two categories of hate. Again, you have the Prime hate just because you have people who are against everything that Prime has ever stood for. They didn't like the Flash back in the day. They just don't like Prime, period. Color or whatever, skin color, whatever he did. You have that one crowd. Then you have the crowd like me who still holds some sort of animosity about the HBCU thing. Right. So I have to get this out there because when I was posting some of this stuff, talking about, well, damn, Colorado, did you pinch the bitch? Or damn, they out here dancing on the fighting primes.
And they did.
People were like, well, can you just not be happy? I said, no. I said, me watching sports since I was a child, me doing this show, which is a sports related show, I'm a realist when it comes to this. Would I love to see Prime do his thing at Colorado? Yes, but in reality, since we knew that they were not going to win.
Right.
But getting back to your original point, some of y'all was way too damn happy they lost. Way too damn happy they lost. Like, I'm not happy they lost because, of course, we know. Like even today, we have a certain outcome that we think is going to happen.
Right.
But it's a lot of y'all that's way too happy, and you got your reasons, and you know your reasons as to why y'all happy that Prime lost and the way that they lost.
And especially the way that they lost, because that was humiliating. If you're a Colorado fan, if you're a Colorado purist, if you're Prime, he had to be humiliated on that sideline when you know the opposing coach called off the dogs because he really could have picked his score last. I mean, really, the game was over at halftime, and he came out in the second half and really could have put up 80 points on Prime and really just
they tried to run a Miami on them.
right. The OU coming out.
The Dolphins.
The Dolphins. Oh, right. You know what? Your Tua love is really starting to come through. You believed in that brother last year, and we'll get on Mr. Mike when he comes back on the show. Let me ask you this, Tasha. Do you think the reaction will be the same this week when the inevitable happens and USC puts them hands on Coach Prime?
From a certain sect, I will believe. See, we told y'all.
Morning, Shamika. Oh, look at her looking so lovely. Isn't she lovely? Isn't she wonderful? Go ahead, Tasha.
you're going to have that crowd that's going to say, yeah, see what we was trying to tell y'all about him.
Right.
It ain't working. He's all flash.
Right. Now, I wanted to, it was interesting, some of the stuff that I don't know if it was strategic or not, but you were, the way in the order in which you was placing some of the stuff in our chat really gave me a snapshot of what was going on out there in social media sphere. No, but we love you, Shamika. We love you. It's real. You know what I'm saying? You're looking lovely. I want to just go on the record and say this, because I think that sometimes I want to do this publicly and not in the chat, because I think sometimes when us black folks don't root for Dion or say something critical about Dion, that the rest of us jump on them. Now I want to just say this for the record. Sports is a bit different than real life, but it's also the same. Let's just take the sports out of it. If you were on your job, Tasha, I was on my job, and somebody came in off the street, and the manager, the supervisor, the GM, the owner, all emailing about this person is this great and they that great. Oh, look, they did this, they did that. And you sit looking like, I've been here 5 years and I've been doing my job too. Where's my email? Where's my love? Where's my appreciation? We can take it, we can hit even closer to home with some people, with family. Speaking of family, good morning, Uncle Langston. We can even take it to family. Okay, you may have 2 or 3 siblings living in a house. One gets an A, it's all okay, good job. Another gets an A and it's a skate party. You're going to feel some kind of way. It's not always just I'm being anti-black if I'm critical of Dion. So I want to make sure on this show, anybody that's of our color, of our hue, feel comfortable with criticizing Dion, because we take it as sports. Because truth of the matter is, if he was playing Michigan today, I'm rooting for Michigan to whoop that ass 76-0.
And as I always say, I always bet on black. Of course, I want to see Dion do well. If Dion hasn't done anything to embarrass me, I say I always bet on black till black does something that embarrasses me.
Good morning, Stiana Fernandez. Pearl Cone in the building this morning, and we're going to get to Pearl Cone. Y'all just hang in there. Now, Tasha, the national media this week has started pushing a narrative calling the Colorado Buffaloes and Coach Prime Black America's team, which I think is disrespectful to us. If I decide to root against Prime because they playing against my damn team, that don't mean I don't love black people. It's weird the way they paint the picture like this of Prime. But here's my question. What is it about Prime that gives him such a cult following when he's not the first African-American head coach in college football? He's not even the only African-American coach in college football. The Notre Dame coach didn't get this type of fanfare coming in. Mel Tucker didn't get this type of fanfare coming in.
Don't go there.
Okay. All stuff aside, but you know what I'm saying. Back when it was Tucker coming and they was going 10-3 and beating Michigan, the country at large, from the black people's standpoint, didn't just jump behind him and say, "Oh, we root for Michigan State if they're not playing my team." What is it about Prime that causes this following?
I did say that. Again,
you're a bet on black person though.
But because those opportunities are not given to us that often. So anytime I see a black coach in that position, I always root for them. What he likes to say, I cannot root.
He says, I can root against you, but still support and respect you. That's good sportsmanship. I agree 1,000%.
That is correct. And back to your question about Dion, what I said in the beginning, they hate Dion because everything that Dion was, what Shamika said.
He's loud and nobody likes I'm the greatest and then he go and knock out somebody.
A lot of this is harbored feelings from when he was running it back and when he was high stepping. People did not like, they didn't like that. And you think about, I know some of the things happened with his school down there in Dallas.
Right.
And you had some people
Prep Academy.
Yeah, you didn't have people who were agreeing with what was going on at Prime Prep.
Great point. That was a very divisive time in his life, pre-HBCU, pre-Colorado. Go ahead.
And then you have him coming in, taking over this job, who's, again, some of y'all, a certain hue, didn't think that he deserved or that he needed. And then he came in with the flash, with all the vitriol, with the swag, with Shador wearing the chains. And bringing Travis Hunter and everything that happened with Travis Hunter before he even got to Jackson State.
Right.
He's bringing all of that there, and then the way they're taking prospects. He coming in telling teams, "No, I got bringing my own luggage. It's Louis Vuitton.
Right.
If you don't fit this mold, you got to get out." And that pissed a lot of people off. Then he comes in and starts winning.
Right.
Immediate. His record is, if he don't win another game, his record is better than what they did last year.
Now, yesterday, you made a comment to me while we were talking on the phone, and I said I threw a towel at you. Shamika's doing the same thing. Say that, Tasha. You've been on the road the last 48 hours. Now, Skiana says they put him in the spotlight with more black people that didn't follow college football. Elaborate on that, Tasha.
Well, wait a minute, with more the people that didn't follow college.
Right,
football.
He's bringing on a bunch of non-college football fans that don't have a rooting interest.
Again, because it's prime. If I didn't know anything about Colorado football, if I didn't know anything about only just the team that I root for, rooting interest and only what I'm interested in, the fact that I grew up watching Deion played for my team. We won a Super Bowl with Deion.
He was Defensive Player of the Year for the 49ers.
Deion played in a baseball and a football game in the same damn day.
Yes.
Hours apart. That's going to attract people to want to watch Colorado. And if you are a fan of Deion, you're going to root for Deion. You're going to want the best for Deion. And
and to your point, Shamika says, but what people are not seeing is that this man has been putting in the work. He's not like an overnight success. He's won at every level back to Pee Wee football.
And then, I can go ahead and say this. It's almost like, because we don't get these opportunities, us meaning black people, we meaning black people, you want to stick it to the man. You want Deion in their face, like, take this.
Right. And the thing is, that's no different than any race wanting to stick it to quote unquote the man when it comes to your job. Sometimes you want to see your boss eat crow because you know that of how they present themselves or how they treated you while you were on the job. Now, Mr. Glenn,
the office down here that I work in, our supervisor is Dominican, and you got some Dominican people that can't stand her.
Wow.
And when they do better in their job, they say, "See, that's what I tried to tell her."
Right. And that and water cooler talk goes on all around both countries. Now, this is something that you said yesterday with the clicks when we were going back and forth about the clicks and Oregon's coach. The old school coaches don't like the way the game is now with the NIL, and Prime embraced it. He embraced it with the social media. He embraced it with the I ain't hard to find. He embraced it with I'm going to bring all these kids' favorite rapper on campus to do college game day. I'm going to let them walk the sidelines with Warren Sapp and Michael Irvin and Kawhi Leonard.
But these same people didn't have a problem with Lil Wayne bringing the Packers out the other night. And
Say that one more time.
You can't get no more whiter of a franchise than Green Bay Packers.
They're tried and true, traditional. And I want to piggyback on Mr. Glenn's point real quick. I think that it's no coincidence that Coach Lanning last week had his viral moment when he was talking about the clicks and the Hollywood and we played on the grass and all of that stuff, as opposed to Lincoln Riley this week, who took the high road and was very complimentary of Deion. And I believe there's a common thread here. Lincoln Riley ain't worried about Deion calling up USC and taking his job. Oregon will hang up on Dan Lanning in a minute if Deion said, "Hey, what's up, Oregon?"
And also this, who was I? It was one of my multiple podcasts that I listened to. It was Shannon Sharp. He said he found it ironic that the one school who has 50-11 colorway uniforms for clicks and light is complaining about a coach doing something for clicks and light. Y'all ain't switching all them uniforms up just because y'all want to do it. Y'all putting it because y'all want people to see, what the Oregon Ducks wearing today.
Right. It puts eyeballs on the set.
Unis.
All right, now here's our homie checking in, Mr. Wayne Donaldson. I'm amazed at how folks pick and choose. They won't root on Eddie, but will root for Deion. What's the difference? Now, Wayne, if you're just now coming in, I asked Tasha just a few minutes ago, what's the difference between Prime and these other black coaches? Because Prime wasn't the first black coach in college football, and he's not the only black coach in college football. And Tasha was alluding to that now, like going back to his Prime days to where people follow him. Also in the comments, they were saying how he's picked up non-football fans because of he's on TV and Eddie George simply just
and
isn't.
Also when Dion went to Jackson State, he basically turned the entire program around. Eddie's
Right.
not doing that. Eddie is barely skating by. Has
Right.
Eddie had a Wayne? Has Eddie had a winning season? I'm not sure.
No, I can answer that question for you. No, it's been a rebuilding process, and he had it right. I'm trying to let that just sit and marinate for the Cowboys fans. Let me put that down. We're gonna be
If
nice this
I
morning.
had
Good
said
morning, Justin Hart is coming. Now, here's a USC fan checking in, Carlos Coronado. He said, like Dion said, get me now. This is the worst they're ever going to be. Now, this is coming from somebody who played college football and who's from California and a USC fan. You glad you getting them now because you know you about to put them hands on Dion in a couple of hours. That's gonna be another drubbing.
and you won't have to play him next year because you're gonna be in the big 87.
Right now, Carlos, we friends now, but when you come to that Big Ten, it's time to nuck if you buck. All right. Now, Shamika agrees with Coop. The same thing, Coop. But I agree with Tasha with the fact that it was winning, it was marketability. If Eddie George could get a machine behind him to put him on TV and plaster him all over the place and call his name into people's remembrance. I'm the biggest Eddie fan you can see right here. Like, I ride with Eddie George, and
it's also ironic that it kind of makes you wonder what exactly does the Heisman Trophy stand for anymore? Because Dion ain't win no Heisman. Eddie is a Heisman Trophy winning running back.
Right. But he didn't. His personality style doesn't galvanize people like Dion does. He's not going to rock the boat on an interview. Eddie's hire was a copycat. Come on, Langston, be nice. Eddie had no experience. Eddie does not have Dion's charisma.
I said that when they announced that Eddie George was the football coach. I said they want to be.
Y'all not going to slander Eddie George with me having Titans gear on today.
No,
that's when we going to turn this thing ugly.
It's no Eddie George slander, but I said the exact same thing. Thank you, Langston.
And thank you, Shamika. Eddie ain't using his position to get these recruits either. It's time for you to get a little Webby. Who's a Tennessee rapper? Can you get Dolph? Man, he rest in peace. It's time for Eddie to start throwing around some of his leverage too. Use some of your relationships with the Titans. Get some Titans players on board. Like, let's step up the marketing. You already have the world's greatest band in the Aristocrats.
Grammy Award winning.
Come on now. So let's break out of that shell, Eddie George, and stomp on somebody. Say something controversial. Call out another coach. We're waiting on you. He says Eddie George is a great guy, but he's not getting any KFC commercials like Prime.
And that's what I'm saying. Yeah. He won the top award in college football. He wasn't no scrub when he was with the Titans. He was scared to take that hit from Ray Lewis, but Eddie George was not.
No, he did not. He was not scared. He got him back in 2003. Eddie needs to do something to get some recruits.
Yes, and that's what we're saying, Steve. He needs to start being flashy. He's trying to be a flashy type coach. He needs to get some flash out there, kind of like a Dion, to get some of those players to come to TU. Because come on now.
Right.
This man got Travis Hunter to decommit from Florida State.
Right. And he's got another 5-star on the bench that ain't even seeing the field.
Well, no, we're talking about the HBCU thing.
Right.
You gotta commit to decommit from a premier program in Florida State to go to a HBCU down in Jackson, Mississippi.
Right. Now
Eddie's not doing that.
Now I want to preface what Carlos Coronado just said. He says Dion doing it his way, Eddie's following the same boring script. This is someone who was recruited on the D1 level to play college football. So he's had the coaches come in and sit and talk with him and things of that nature. So he understands the difference. So I think that carries a lot of weight with me to hear him say that, because I was never recruited by a coach to do a damn thing. All right, is Eddie a coach really? He was shocked when they asked him to take the job. Wow, like I didn't even think this was going to digress into an Eddie thing. Go ahead, Tasha.
Let me tell you something, Mel. When Brenda Glover, I was watching something and he talked about how he got that job. She approached him again. She wanted that Dion effect, that prime effect in Nashville.
Right.
But you picked the wrong guy.
Well, who else in the Titans arena could have filled those? Well, you know what? We won't know, because if they would have gotten a shot, we could have seen how much charisma they would have had. But Eddie does lack charisma. He lacked charisma when he played.
I mean, Eddie is just a he is a blue collar. I'm gonna take my lunch pail. I'm gonna go to work, and I'm gonna go home type of person. Even when he was in his heyday before we got married, when he was running the streets, you didn't really see Eddie in the streets. You know, Eddie George was not a controversial player. The biggest thing Eddie had was the fact that he was a Heisman Trophy winner. And that's why I say that Heisman Trophy is it losing some of its luster, because normally you say, oh, Heisman Trophy winning, whatever.
He's not even on the Heisman House commercials.
Right. No, he was on the new one. They just had the
new one. Oh, he's on the new one. Okay.
And Tebow was shaving his head. He's on the new one. But I don't think that's moving the needle when it comes to these young guys who want this NIL money, who want to be seen, who want to go to the next level. And Eddie is not doing that.
If Coach Prime comes into my living room and he's showing me his 31 million followers on Instagram, his 15 million followers on Twitter, he's showing the videos going viral. I'm seeing his players become overnight sensations. Shador is a one-name person now. You say Shador, everybody know who you're talking about.
I mean, like, Eddie's son played well against Notre Dame. TSU looks damn good when they played.
Yes, and TSU has a better history historically, going back to the playing in the hole. But I digress. I mean, it's interesting. I'm glad that we got a chance to get some HBCU talk in on the show and it have some substance. Melanie says exactly. She was trying to up Jackson State. Dion wants to coach. Eddie was not looking for a coaching job. Eddie's still spending money from 99. And Taj, his lovely wife from SWV, is still out there on the road making money.
She out there touring.
She's out there. Eddie, you need to get in a steamy video with your wife. You need to start like cross promote. Get SWV, do something.
Because
they need to come up.
Gotta be done.
Come up. Dino Barbers is undefeated at Syracuse. And that goes back to our point. Who cares? Like, I'm not saying who cares in a negative way. I'm saying it's not being promoted as such.
This is what I was getting ready to get to with I'm glad Wayne brought that up, because Wayne, I forgot. When you got Dabo Luther the King out here not wanting to get transfer players and against the NIL, but they talking about him losing against Syracuse today.
Now, you want to talk about a reclamation job? Syracuse hadn't been 4-0 back-to-back seasons since the Donovan McNabb era. Remember how long ago that was? So, like, it's just funny that Prime is getting all the flowers when some of these other coaches, you would think that it should be the black coaches that would have animus towards Prime more than the white coaches, because they're really being swept under the rug like an Eddie or even Notre Dame's coach. And they're not getting that kind of spotlight like that. He has a top 10 program. So that's interesting to see. So with that being said, Tasha, I didn't think this would turn into such a great conversation. But thank you all for chiming in on that. What is your prediction for today? What do you see happening against USC?
They're gonna lose again today.
Murder was the case that they gave me. I take down my boo-boo about to have my baby.
Murder was the case that they gave me.
Hey, y'all, it's right. James Franklin. Now, he should have been the main one to get his flowers of what he did with Penn State after the scandal that they went through.
But wait a minute, let me get this. James Franklin had he had a lot of hoopla. They had never did college game day in Vanderbilt, just like they had never done college Vanderbilt in Durham at the campus of Duke University. No, James Franklin came with it because you had the college game day.
He had Vanderbilt some count, didn't he?
They was some count. They hadn't been to a bowl game because one of my old coworkers, he played football at Vanderbilt on the last team that went to a bowl game in the 70s.
You said in the what? Say that again.
70s. That's when Coach
James Franklin is trying to be known as a black coach. Wayne, stop it. Stop that. We're trying to get out of this topic.
But no, everything about him says that I'm a black man. He's never not said I ain't black or I ain't down with this culture.
Morning AP culture. The game is at 11 o'clock. But the Carlos is like, hey, I ain't in that. Like,
I mean, it's like when he doesn't shy away from, James Franklin, black coach. He doesn't hit that, I'm biracial or I'm multiracial. He goes with the I'm the black coach thing. But
and he also said all of his coaches need to have fine wives. He understands the art of recruiting.
And the thing is, what he did at Vanderbilt, when nobody was looking at Vanderbilt.
They was putting them hands on UT during his tenure too.
That's what got him that job at Penn State.
And Penn State was a dumpster fire when he got there because of Sandusky, and we're not gonna get into Sandusky. But ignore Coop, he a black Irishman. Here we go. All right, so since we're already in a fighting mood in the Goon Squad today, let's keep fighting because Tasha, let's talk some NFL, and I want to go and get this out the way because this right here hurt my feelings. Last Sunday was crap. The Cleveland Browns stomped my team into a bloody pulp down out there in the Pearl Brown Stadium. Then I turned it on Fox and I watched the Dallas Cowboys, who coming into last week was considered one of the best teams in the league. Don't you show a tooth. Close your lips. There we go. I don't want you too happy on this segment. Tasha, they went out to Arizona and they laid an egg. Tasha, they were the first for the first time in their history, Tasha, they were a double-digit favorite and lost by double digits. They lost to the lowly Arizona Cardinals, who are trying to tank. Tasha, they fired their starting quarterback 2 days before the season started and picked up that kid off the street that looked like Lil Bill. He had 4 incompletions, Tasha, the whole game. No turnovers. Arizona ran for 200 yards, averaging 8 yards a carry.
How do I log out? Because
we're going to talk about this, Tasha. Now, me and you were both high on the Cowboys coming into this season. What the hell is going on? Is this the Cowboys being the Cowboys? Are they trolling us again, or is this just a blip on the radar?
First of all, I'm going to call out somebody that went to high school with us because apparently she don't know what I do or how I get down. Tisha Matthews, who is Tisha Hall now, commented because I said, y'all Dak out there dacking. So she tries to go back for everybody says so when the Cowboys losing, but y'all don't say this, ma'am. I was nice in my comments, but I'm gonna tell you like I tell all these Cowboys.
No, she was my coming home queen date, so we're gonna be nice to Tisha.
As y'all, I'm gonna tell y'all like I tell all these Cowboy fans, if y'all don't sit y'all ass down,
we're gonna stand up. We're not sitting down nowhere.
Of course, we like to talk about the Cowboys when they lose because y'all are the only team that feel like y'all ain't gonna lose.
Watch it now. Look at this. Look at him clapping. You just loving this, ain't you, Coronado? You gonna have your good Saturday.
I mean, because it's like with my 49ers. The 49ers for the past 4 or 5 years. Coming in the beginning of the season, have played like stepped on poop. But what did I do? I talked bad about them. And then towards the end of the season, what did they do? They started winning. So
she will. She'll beat me to the punch when I'm trying to troll her. She'll troll herself when it comes to her team. But this ain't but we're not gonna let a 49er fan hijack a Cowboys segment.
When it comes to the Cowboys, I just think it's a slight overreaction.
What? Okay, I apologize. I was ready to fight this morning. Let me shut up and let you go. I'm right here, hands crossed.
I just think, again, like I said, Dak was out there dacking, just like Garoppolo was out there dacking too.
Good morning, Miss Hastings.
I just think it's a bump in the road because I'm not going to give up on a team who has a defense of that caliber.
Now, you got people that still in your choir throwing handkerchiefs down at you, passing the collection plate. Tasha, I'm worried. This is supposed to be the 2000s Ravens, the 02 Tampa Bay Bucks, the doomsday defense of the 70s, and you give up 200 yards rushing to the Arizona Cardinals, a team that's trying to tank. They got Lil Bill as quarterback. They were lifeless out there.
Let's correct that. He is technically a rocket scientist.
Technically he is from the University of Tennessee. He has a nuclear something degree in
biological engineering. Nuclear, some kind of
he literally can work for NASA.
Some kind of degree that I couldn't even pass by reading the syllabus.
So do you think there will be a carryover effect when they play the New England Patriots this week and Coach Bill Belichick?
It shouldn't. But the thing is, you got Zeke. If he's healthy, Zeke is going to go out and try to show out, as you know, most players do if they traded and they're playing their old team.
Right. That's right.
It shouldn't be. But the New England defense is some count.
Yes.
And again, people get mad at me, and I always say, "Is no clanger slander allowed?" And I hate to talk about that, but everything rises and sets with Dak's play.
He had a critical interception late in that game. Now, yes, they were still down. They still lost by double digits, but it was just further. It just further fanned the flames of people who want Dak out of Dallas. And to me, I'm really surprised at how many people do want Dak out of Dallas. You had a quarterback that had a broken back for 3 straight years, and he underperformed when the lights were brightest. You draft Dak out of the 4th round. He comes in and saves your franchise.
And y'all ain't got no love for him.
No love for Dak. Like, and Langston changed his name to Dak Sucks in our fantasy league. And I'm just like, Langston, do you want Tannehill? Do you want these problems? Do you want these? Do you want Malik Willis? Can I interest you in Malik Willis? Can I interest you in a straight up trade Dak for Tannehill? What anybody in Dallas want to do that? We'll ship him out tomorrow.
No,
we're like, I don't think Dak is the problem. What is the problem, Tasha? Why can't
I think it does. What did I just say? It rises and sets with Dak. Like in this instance, Dak is the sun. If Dak has a good game, the Cowboys have a good game. You nowadays, for some reason, these teams have stepped up their defenses like exponentially.
Yes,
you can't just skate by anymore to thinking you're going to win.
To your point, Cleveland held Tennessee to 75 yards of offense last week. That doesn't happen in the NFL. We saw what Miami did to Denver, putting us, like Martrice said, a 70-piece lemon all flats. That just don't happen. A 50-point victory.
First of all, we ain't gonna be talking about the Broncos because Stiana is in here listening.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, we gonna let's ride. They out of gas. But no, we're gonna talk about the Broncos because the toilet bowl has got to be picked. Somebody's got to win that game, and we're going to talk about that. Now, let's go to the AFC real quick. Tasha, I want you to finish this sentence for me. Jets.
Mess.
Tasha, they're not just a mess. They're a dumpster fire right now. And
no,
Zach Wilson.
They are dipstick dumpster out.
Right, you're right, a dipstick dumpster fire. They're a dumpster fire where it's like juice and grease and stuff in it. It's not just trash. It's that liquidy stuff to make the dumpster stink. You all right? You okay? Look, she said, sorry, I'm not like the Cowboys fans. We are delusional. That's because people keep telling us we still America's team after 30 years of nothing else.
Because you said the juice and the grease, and I know exactly what
you know that smell. like this heat just tearing this dumpster ass up. All right. Zach Wilson has been an absolute nightmare. Right now, without Aaron Rodgers, the Jets are last in total offense and last in scoring, 32nd out of 32 teams. Now, Robert Saleh got on the podium last week and said that Zach Wilson still gives them their best chance to win. Is that coaching malpractice? Is he going to lose his job over this?
The only reason he's not going to lose his job is because they still holding out hopes that Aaron Rodgers is going to come back and beat some count next year. But
no, go ahead. Will
it be too late? But they already have that defeatist attitude coming in next year because you got but you can't even do a Wilson to Wilson. Because what if your wide receiver decides, hey, I ain't even trying to stick this out no more, trade me.
He already cussed him out on the sideline this past Saturday, Garrett Wilson did. He cussed out his quarterback.
And then who's to say that when Lyron comes back, he's even gonna be some count? Like, you don't even know that.
If you were Woody Johnson, the owner of the Jets, would you keep Wilson in there knowing that you're going to finish with 1 or 2 wins so you can take a Caleb Williams or one of the top tier quarterbacks that's coming out of college? Because it's a deep quarterback class coming up here in 2024, spring of 2024. Or would you, like you said, hold out the hope that Lyrod gets healthy and leads your team again?
First of all, I do believe that is what they're doing. But what the Jets will soon realize if they take a quarterback next year is how petty Aaron Rodgers really is. Because when they drafted Jordan Love, he was doing all that, I'm going to quit. What did he do? He basically tore the Green Bay Packers down by throwing that damn game against Tampa Bay.
Right.
And that's what he's going to do with the Jets. If they draft a quarterback, he's going to linger. He's going to go to the media. He's going to say all of this and all of that.
He's going to do it like he did with Jordan Love.
Yeah, that's exactly what's going to happen. But they need to get Wilson. They need to get Zach Wilson out of there.
They got Trevor Siemian, who they signed off the street, and they said he hadn't won an NFL game since 2017. Like, is that any better?
If you scraping off the dust heap, what do you call the junk heap, scrap heap?
To get the can out.
Right, to get you. Yeah, y'all shopping where the Titans shop for quarterback. Right.
Buy one, get one free.
If that's what you're doing, then you may need to rethink who you got in there, unless this is your plan, is to tank.
Now, Carlos, I just want to double back on something that Carlos just said. It made me think of a question. He said the Jets made people think the Cowboys defense was legit. Now they're running 200 straight at Parsons. Now, next week, they're going against two good run defenses. They got New England this week. They got San Fran next week. Is that the formula to run right at Parsons and not let him just wreak havoc in the pass game?
I mean,
because y'all can run that ball.
That's why I feel say y'all ain't finna stop us. So I don't know what nobody else talking about. But you ain't gonna stop our run game, because if you
run CMC done sipped out the fountain of damn youth. Right. He look like he's 22 out there.
But if you shut him down, we ain't gonna do nothing. Put Debo, who is our real running, backup running back, because he's
an athlete. Him running through them tackles on Thursday Night Football. Unbelievable. Debo Samuel.
That man gave me almost 30 fantasy points.
I don't want to talk about it. My team's struggling because I got Dak as my damn quarterback. I'm gonna leave that alone. But let's pin this, Carlos, because we're gonna see. Because Coach Belichick didn't win all them Super Bowls being no damn fool, and it wasn't all because of Brady. It was because of defense. And he likes to run that rock. And like you said, Zeke has revenge on his mind. He's gonna want to put on a great show. I'm not ready to pencil in Dallas for a win. I think they win this week. The fan in me is like, they can't lose this one. But we've seen this before from the Cowboys.
Oh, I knew it all along.
What would be your shock value if they do lose to New England? On a scale of 1 to 10, how shocked would you be?
It depends on how they lose. If it's offense related, But again, like Carlos said, if it's you got Zeke and tandem running 200 plus yards,
and Ramondre Stevenson is no slouch. He can get up. He put him up and put him down too.
I mean, I think they're going to make some adjustments because, oh God, what's his name? Towards ACL.
Oh, Trayvon Diggs.
Trayvon Diggs. That was the first game without Trayvon Diggs. They really didn't have a plan in place,
But he ain't no run stopper like that. It ain't like he's.
I know, but still, that just kind of does something to your defense and your psyche as a whole.
And it happened late in the week too, like on a Saturday, like right before the game, Friday or Saturday,
to, get a game plan and do whatever. And then teams, teams know they down. This is what we gonna do. I think they make some adjustments.
I think they bounce back this week too. Yeah. The real test is going to come out there in the old Candlestick. What's it called now?
Levi Stadium.
Right. We just hope that they don't treat us like some skinny jeans when we get out there. That's going to be a tough one. If you can't stop the run no better than you did against Arizona, then that could be problematic.
Now, walk out on me in painted on jeans.
Now you know that's my song. All right. Hey, Billy Ocean was the man. Stop the hate and the slander.
Caribbean Queen.
And the man could dance. He would have passed Michael Jackson. All right. Let's take a quick veer off the beaten path because I know it's football season, but we got some basketball news that I didn't want to let simmer and sit too long. At long last, we have been talking about this all summer. About Dame and should he leave, should he go? We finally have
we've been talking about this for the last 2 or 3 years, to be honest.
The last 2 or 3 years. Well, we know where he is now. He's up there with Laverne and Shirley, putting tops on beer bottles. Sorry, I dated myself with that one, huh?
We're gonna do it. On your mark, get set, now, go
now. So you're the jingle queen. So Dame Dollar is now a Milwaukee Buck. He's paired with Giannis Antetokounmpo. Now we're about to play a game of this or that with Tasha T. Sizzle. She doesn't know what I have written down here. Neither do you all. So y'all feel free to play along. The question is, ladies, gentlemen, and esteemed co-hosts, is Dame and Giannis Antetokounmpo the new best 1-2 punch in the NBA? So let's do a comparison with some of the other 1-2 punches in the NBA. Tasha, would you take Dame and Giannis or Jason Tatum and Brown for Boston? Tatum and Brown sound like a law firm.
I'm not really sold on Brown as much, so I'm gonna take Dame and Giannis.
Okay, all right. What about LeBron and AD?
Oh no, you already know where I'm going with that. Next.
They was in the Western Conference Finals.
I don't care. I ain't picking nobody that's wear more street clothes and uniform. Next.
Luka and Kyrie.
Oh no, I don't trust Kyrie. And I really started not to trust Luka.
Why's that? Go ahead. I'm in Dallas. Go ahead and tell the people here why. No, we're not shaming on this show. I still got a ways to go. Kawhi and Paul George.
Why you do that to me? You know I love Kawhi Leonard.
He's back healthy. They said he's ready for training camp.
They've been saying he back healthy.
They're working on extensions for both of them. So you would take Dame and Giannis over Kawhi and Paul George.
Yeah.
Oh, that's close for
it's
me.
The injury history. It's the injury history for
me.
And the
age. For both.
Yeah. Right. And the age.
What about the championship duo of Jamal Murray and Nikola Jokic?
Now, that's where the problem comes in. Because, FanDuel has them rated as like not just to win the East, but to win the whole thing. The odds on favorite are the Milwaukee Bucks. Because basically that's a pick and roll every night.
It is, but
I'm gonna go with Jokic and
you got to, after what they did in the playoffs, when they're both healthy, that's an unstoppable duo. Both have inside out games, both give each other assists, they both get you 30 and 10 and 12.
And the way he came back from that ACL tear to just go, what's his? I can't think his name. You just said his name. It said in my not Jokic, the other one.
The other what, center?
No, Jokic and what's his name?
Jamal Murray.
I mean, yeah, Murray. I don't know why I couldn't think of Jamal Murray.
Yeah, Murray. Miss Coulter says yes. Shouts out to you, Miss Coulter, checking in. Thank you.
The way he came back from that ACL tear to just to go on and do what he did this season, because he was the star in most of those games.
Yeah,
Jokic was just
I would take Murray and Jokic over them, and I saved the last one for you. Devin Booker and KD, or Giannis and Dame. See, you bet on black. I'm betting on naps. I'm gonna bet on the naps.
It's Deanna's voice. Damn it, man! Because I ain't gonna I ain't gonna root against KD for nobody.
Right. That's why I saved him for last. But come on, then, Dame and Giannis.
Again, if 100% healthy, 100% healthy KD is unstoppable.
I agree. And Devin Booker can get you 60 points. We've seen him do it before. I agree. And he's a little more durable than Damian Lillard has been over the last few years. I agree with that.
Right. I mean, even though we don't think about it, Dame got some age on him too.
Right. No, I would take the younger Booker over Dame right now. I mean, if we're talking about over the next 5 years, and KD has no weaknesses on the floor, inside, outside, 3-point free throw line. You can't even foul him. Now a Laker fan is saying Lillard 100%. He told us to kick rocks with our Lillard critique. We shall see how motivated he is to win a championship. Now, Carlos, let me ask you and Tasha, since you chimed in. If he wins a chip, do you give it an asterisk if he wins one with Giannis? Since he talked about everybody teaming up?
No.
I don't, because I don't hold it against LeBron.
Right. Well, no, not even that. Portland gave him no choice. Portland did not want to bring anybody out there. You can't.
They could have brought back Clyde Drexler. All right, back to the NFL. Tasha, we know that the ring is due at midnight. So we're gonna give these people some picks they need to feed they seed. Tasha, you've been on the roll. You're in the 80 percentile, which if you was in Vegas, that would make you a shark. You know that? That would make you a shark. Nope, he never had help. I agree with you, Carlos. I agree. We all agree there. All right. Let's start in the SEC, your neck of the woods. LSU versus Ole Miss. Who you taking today? T Sizzle.
Damn.
Ole Miss is a 2.5-point underdog.
That's what I was gonna say. I hate Ole Miss, but they're playing so good. I'm gonna go. I'm going with them Bayou Tigers.
Me too. I'm going with LSU as well. We have the Fighting Catholics against the Fighting Dukies. Duke is a 5.5-point underdog today. Now you're not held to the line. I am. So are you taking Duke or Notre Dame? They're both ranked in the top 15.
I'm taking Notre Dame.
I'm taking Notre Dame. No, you know what? I'm going to take Duke and the 5.5. I think Notre Dame squeaks by a field goal in that one. Now, let's go to the pros. We have a huge matchup in the AFC East. Buffalo versus Miami. Miami's averaging 43 points a game. 43 points a game. You know, they got more yards last week than the Titans have all season. I'm going to digress on that. So, you got Buffalo, Miami. You're going with the Fighting Tours up there in Orchard Park.
What week is this?
Week 4.
Damn, I picked Buffalo to win. I mean, and every year I pick Tua. Every year I pick Tua.
I'm like, you've been on Tua's side this whole time. Now he's the number one odds-on favorite to win MVP.
And I didn't even go with the fans this year, but I'm gonna go with him. I'm gonna go with him because again, Von Miller is out, and when he does come back, is he gonna have to knock some rust out, or is he gonna go out there and just be Von?
I think Buffalo, this is a desperation spot for them. I think that Miami, it's hard to get up for another game once you beat somebody by 50 points. I'm sorry. It's just hard to do that. I'm going with Buffalo on that one as well in the 2.5 points. We have the Bet on Black Bowl. We got Baltimore versus Cleveland. Who you taking?
Cleveland is not a Bet on Black Bowl.
2 black quarterbacks.
Nepal.
I'm trying to get through my notes.
Nepal, you know,
get you a swig of water. You want me to go first while you swig your water?
Nepal, you know, I've been off at narcotic.
No, Lex says I'm going with Buffalo for my boy John Sherrill. Shouts out to John Sherrill. He is a Buffalo fan. He is. I'm going with the Bills as well. No, I'm going with Miami. I'm sorry. That's who I had to win the division.
I'm going with Baltimore. Be more.
I'm going with B more as well.
But if you're counting on Lamar to be the everything offense, it's not going to work.
Lamar has struggled this year. It looks like he's caught in the web of who he was and who they want him to be.
No, it's because they're still not just like with Dame, they're not putting players in position to help him. You had 7 players out last week. 7.
You don't like Zay Jones? Zay Flowers? You don't like the 7 old running backs they have? They got Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon don't wet your whistle.
I just had to wet my whistle. When I kiss you, baby, it's much too much.
Oh, sorry. We're sorry, y'all. We grew up in musical households. Okay, I'm gonna go Baltimore too, but y'all, it's a 2-point line, and Vegas think they slick because we know that Cleveland's defense is for real, and Myles Garrett might knock Lamar out the damn game. Did you see what they did to my Titans last week? It was embarrassing.
I would never forget when he cold cocked. What's his name? The play for
Mason Rudolph with that helmet. Hey, he did the overhand swing.
He caught y'all. He knocked shit out of here with that.
I'm gonna be totally transparent right now. I'm rooting Baltimore because Cleveland whooped our ass last week. That's why I'm going Baltimore. But I have zero faith that they're gonna move the ball against the Browns. Just for you bettors out there, I just want to throw that caveat in there. All right. Last but not least, we have the Toilet Bowl, the Bowl of Futility. The bowl of ain't neither one of y'all some count, no count at all. We got the Denver Broncos versus the Chicago Bears. The Bears are a 3.5-point underdog. If you're a 3.5-point underdog, to a team that just gave up 70 points. What are you really? What are you really? I hope my brother's not watching this while I'm saying this. But what are you really, Chicago, if you're a 3.5-point underdog to the Broncos? Who are you taking?
The Broncos.
Me too.
It's a damn shame what they did to that dog last week. But damn. They got 70 points hung on them. Like Tree said,
in a pro game. It ain't right. It ain't even enough time in a pro game to get up 70, is it? I digress. All right.
And did you see the guy put in our group in the other fantasy league how the running back had him 80 points?
Right. And I played against somebody and the running back was on the bench. And I squeaked by that week because they had that running back on the bench. They had 2 running backs get 4 touchdowns apiece. How do you do that? I had Miami's kicker, and he got me 10 points on all extra points. I thought it was a typo. Like, how you score 10 touchdowns? All right. Now, Tasha, nobody has lost in their survivor picks this week. You are taking the Kansas City Chiefs over the Jets as your lock-em pick for the week, right?
I am, simply because, Paul, when you sent me that, and I looked at all of those teams, this is the first week that every team that's going against another team is basically evenly matched at this point in the season.
Right, at this point in the season. But one game jumped right out at me. Now, that's a good one. Kansas City is they're going to put, it's going to be a felony assault on Sunday Night Football. I'm going to go with a game that popped out to me, and it's your boys. The 49ers are going to destroy Arizona because of what they saw what happened to Dallas last week, and they're going to make sure to remind the world ahead of their matchup next week who is the top dog. I think they're going to put Arizona in their place. They're going to hang 30 on them.
Nope, I didn't pick them for that very reason. How many times?
Don't be cautious.
No,
step on there like Dion.
How many times in college football do we say, "Oh, they got caught looking ahead"?
See, right. I don't think they're going to get caught looking ahead because of what happened to Dallas, but we shall see.
And also, this is a game that we cannot afford to lose because it is a divisional game, and
it is. Arizona usually plays them tough. Usually, yeah. Now, Steve, it's going to be all over in the morning. It'll be all over in the morning. Tell your neighbor and say, neighbor. Take the points. All right. So, Tasha, we're gonna start our shout outs with Miss Martrice Hastings, that's wishing her parents a happy 50th anniversary. All right. I love them. Happy anniversary.
Look. They've been married all those years and only had one kid. Treese, you must have been hell. Treese, I know you was hell.
Treese, you were bad as hell. I want to give a shout out to the mighty Pearl Cone Firebirds beating our rival. All right, boom, boom, cat, do-doom, do-doom, cat. We're going to do the Firebird today. Shouts out to Pearl Cone, whooping our rival Whites Creek. For all of us old schoolers, beat them, what was that, 49-0? What was it? It was something like that, but we beat down Whites Creek, and that made me feel good. So shouts out to Pearl Cone for getting it done. And she puts up the angel. She's an angel. Oh, Angela Winbush, angel.
Angel.
Oh. Right, I can hit that note. I was going to let you handle that. T. Sizzle, who you shouting out this week?
You know what? I don't really have a shout out this week. I don't have any.
Well, let's shout out your hairdresser because you're looking fly today.
Oh, Talina's Traces over here in the. Let me take it down. Let me.
All right, wait a minute. Do the shake. Do the shake. There it is. Oh, snap. Okay.
Yes, and she. Oh, yeah, that is a good shout out, and she. Like most,
like that. Right.
She's she's doing hair in a little room in her house. But God has blessed, and she's a Haitian. And if you guys don't know, it's a lot of
you said she's a Haitian
going on with Haiti and the Dominican
Haitian.
Republic.
I thought you said Haitian.
It's a lot of things going on between Haitians and Dominicans and the borders. It's just a mess. But for her to have that blessing to get her shop, because she told me when I left, she says, well, when you come back, I will be in my new shop.
All right. All right. Okay, Hair Shimmy. Well, ladies and gentlemen, look, y'all know what time it is. Dion starts at 11. Then Michigan comes on at 2:30. Then we got Notre Dame at 6:30. So we have a triple header of football lined up for us. Should be another fantastic day. We got NFL football all next week. And then next week is the fair. It's Texas OU weekend. I am so looking forward to that. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, you know how we get down. We'll see you in 6 days and 23 hours. Until then, Tasha, send us out of here.
Vamos Azul. Peace.
That means go blue. Thank you, Carlos. See you next week. When you come out here and brag about your USC Trojans, we know it's going to be a beatdown. Be nice to Dion today. Peace. Tasha, I love